Christmas, so we're dusting off all of the fun music, movies, and TV shows and books, I suppose, also for the Christmas season. Hello, welcome to Christy Grace Scarlet Pen. I am an author, creativity chaser, and book lover. I love Christmas. My family loves Christmas. We always decorate on the 1st of October. Yes, I said October. We do October every year because we do love Christmas. But today I'm talking about my favorite top 10 TV show Christmas episodes, because as the years go by and you have multiple seasons of a TV show, there's always a classic sort of a Christmas TV episode. And I love those. They are so much fun. So I'm going to tell you what my top 10, in no particular order, just the order I happen to have remembered them in, episodes are. If you don't recognize any of the TV shows I mention, I will put links below so you can check out some descriptions of what they are in your own time. But if you do, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Who could look past the Christmas lunch episodes of The Vicar of Dibley? If you have seen those, you will know what I'm talking about. Poor Vicar. Geraldine ends up booking herself up for, I think, 4 different Christmas lunches all in the same day, and by the end she is being wheeled around by a wheelbarrow because she cannot even walk. She is a bigger gal, so she thinks she can handle all the food, but she cannot. It is a lot of Christmas lunches. There's also some sort of Brussels sprout eating competition that happens. It was quite funny to watch her try and fit all of those Christmas lunches into one day. So that makes it onto my list because it is quite funny. Another classic that I love is, I am mixing these two together, I Love Lucy and The Lucy Show. So I Love Lucy do a very short clip, which is why I'm combining it with The Lucy Show, and they have a coming to the Christmas tree, everyone dressed as Santa, Lucy, Ricky, Fred, and Ethel, all coming dressed as Santa to put Christmas presents under the tree. And then mysteriously, as they're singing and running around the tree, a 5th person is randomly there with them, also dressed as Santa. They all pull off each other's beards, but when they go to pull off Santa's, of course it's real, and then he disappears. It was so cute and fun when I was watching I Love Lucy that I had to add that into this list. But The Lucy Show has a full Christmas episode. Lucy and Viv, who also played Ethel on I Love Lucy, do Christmas different ways. They have their own kids, they have their own ways of doing things, and their Christmas fight of how things should be set up is quite funny. Their trees look totally different in the same room right next to each other, so that is quite a good one, which also shows the different traditions that we can all have as families or as blended families. And it can be quite interesting and quite difficult sometimes to combine all of those together, but it was a really good episode. One of my favorite ongoing gags was on Home Improvement, the Christmas episodes, because we had the lighting contest. Tim Taylor always fighting Doc Johnson to try and be the best lighting display in the neighborhood, on the street, and just never coming up to par. Poor Tim. Tim, the tall man, tried his very best, but he always ended up with really strange choices, like Frankenstein giving the frankincense as one of the wise men. Just some very odd choices, but his fight with Doc Johnson is one of my favorite ongoing gags. I could not do this list without the Holiday Armadillo. I love Friends, and that Christmas episode with the Holiday Armadillo is fantastic, and not just because Joey comes dressed as Superman, and I love Superman, but because it was quite funny, and it was really interesting to see everybody trying to incorporate their Jewish side, but also bring together the Christmas situation, and we had people dressing up as Santa and costumes and the Holiday Armadillo. It was quite a funny episode, and I love Friends, so this one was good. Plus, as a sidebar, the Christmas song that Phoebe ends up singing for all of her friends. That's one of my favorite Phoebe songs. I mean, apart from Spelly Cat. That is really funny, so I have to give Friends props for the Christmas. One of the other shows that I really like is The Big Bang Theory, and they did a really cool Christmas episode because I really relate. I hate picking presents for people. I hate it. I'm not a good present picker. If you can just tell me what you want, I will get it for you. But The Big Bang Theory did one where Sheldon was faced with potentially buying Penny a present and he wasn't quite sure what exactly to get her and ended up getting multiple options, all worth different amounts, so that he could excuse himself and pick out the one that would be the similar price range to the gift that she gave her. But she surprised him, of course, with something worth just not money at all. It was signed by Leonard Nimoy from Star Trek. So that was a really funny episode, and it's also something that I relate to because I am not great at picking presents either. So I feel you, Sheldon. I feel you. One of my favorite shows that we really enjoyed was The Nanny, of course, with Fran Drescher. I love that show, and they did a really fun Christmas episode where they made a cartoon episode. So we had all of our characters all mixed into this weird cartoon fantasy episode where potentially, you know, Fran gets hit on the head and goes to this magical land to help save Christmas with Santa, who looks exactly like Mr. Sheffield. Yeah, that was a really fun episode. There was a couple of musical numbers, I think, in there, but I loved that. It was really fun. It was nice to see them as cartoon characters because their beginning sequence, the song at the beginning, The Nanny, is in cartoon also, and they had that same cartooning animation. So it was really fun. It's a fun Christmas episode. I like that one. Like I said before, I love Superman, so I can't go past one of the Smallville Christmas episodes, which was called Lexmas. Lex gets shot, Lex Luthor gets shot, and he imagines his life completely different than it really is while he is under anesthetic and while he's unconscious, and he dreams that he has a life with Lana and he has a kid and he's actually a good guy instead of a bad guy. It was a really fun episode, and then you had the in real life versions of stuff happening with Clark, who was helping Santa believe in Christmas again, of course, because that's important. Anyway, it was a fun episode. I like to see this sort of alternate reality idea of Lex being good and having a family and being happy because he didn't care about money anymore. This is... Oh, I love Psych, the TV show. Oh my gosh, I can't. This show is so funny. I don't do a lot of supernaturally type things, but this is sort of along the lines of The Mentalist. So he's pretending to be a psychic. He's not really, and so there's not actual supernatural elements. It's just funny as crap. I love this show. They did a Christmas episode. You have Sean and Gus, the bestest of friends. They have the funnest dynamic. I love them. But Gus's dad, I think it's called Gus's dad might have killed the guy. Wait, Gus's dad may have killed an old guy. An old guy, grumpy old man in the neighborhood gets killed, and it potentially looks like Gus's dad killed him. Of course he did not, and we, you know, figure it all out and clear his name, but it is quite a funny episode, and it was sad though, this poor guy, you know, doing Christmas by himself, and Sean mooching in on Gus and his family for Christmas. But I have to say, I think they do a running Christmas for a couple of their episodes, where Sean and his dad Henry have this tradition to try and guess each other's presents or what they got each other. And it was quite fun to watch those because yeah, they messed with each other a little bit with this guessing game, and that was also quite fun. I love Psych. It has such a great humor to it. They're sort of almost like a rip-off of The Mentalist, but they're funny, which is why I like it better than The Mentalist, because that's very serious. There are only 2 left. 2. I can't believe this, but I'm gonna have honorable mentions as well. The second to last is actually from a show that I love, and it's Remington Steele. I love Remington Steele. Pierce Brosnan was so good in that show. I loved everybody in that show, honestly. Such a good show. They had a Christmas episode where a whole bunch of criminals, all dressed up as Santa Claus, came in and took the office hostage, and I think they were threatening to blow up a building. But it was just really fun. Christmas, like, it was fun, man. It was a really well done Christmas episode for a detective show, and it was dramatic and exciting, and of course, who wouldn't want to watch a hostage situation where the criminals all dressed as Santa? I do. It's really funny. Anyway, it had the humor in there in Remington Steele as well, which was really fun. So you had like the detective, but without it being too serious. There was a lot of humor in that show, but I really liked that episode. And the last one that makes it onto my list is actually something that makes me so happy. I am a die-hard fan, so when it comes to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I understand why Jake likes Die Hard so much, and one of my favorite Brooklyn Nine-Nine Christmas episodes is the Yippee-Kayak Other Buckets, where they end up getting, again, a hostage. A hostage is taken in the shop right before Christmas. They're all trying to do their last-minute shopping, and they end up being held hostage, and they have to try and stop the bad guys. But of course, Jake treats it just like it was really Die Hard, but it was not. But it was really funny to watch him running around writing names. It was a really good episode, and of course the Yippee-Kayak Other Buckets was just really great. Good for you, Boyle. And I really liked it. It gave me quite a giggle. What are some of your favorite TV show holiday special episodes? I'd love to know, because I did miss some out. Few of my special mentions include the Melissa and Joey, Melanie and Josiah Christmas episode, where they do a flashback of, what is it, like the 1800s situation where they may have been in love or something like that. It was really fun to sort of have that comparison of now versus then. And it sort of was like a takeoff of, I think, Gone with the Wind a little bit, but that was really fun, so that makes my honorable mentions. And of course, the Fresh Prince episode, holiday episode, where they go away and all of the kids are home alone in this rented chalet or whatever, and they end up getting robbed. And they have literally nothing in the house, like almost like not even like basic furniture. Like, that was a really great episode, even though everyone's being held hostage and the stuff being stolen. But I liked that episode. I thought it was fun. So that also makes my honorable mention list. Share below any TV show episodes that I missed. I didn't count movies into this, of course, because my favorite Christmas movie is The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I watch that every year, but there are a lot of good Christmas movies. I feel like there's more movies than TV, so that's why I only did a TV episode. Otherwise, we'd be sitting here for 5 hours discussing all the Christmas movies. Let me know your favorite Christmas episode. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you in the adventures.